So now let's cover arrays. Arrays are really just a list of values. So far we've been storing values in variables like this. We've just been saying let temp equal 10. So maybe the temperature today is 10 degrees. But let's say we had a whole list of temperatures for the last week. Now we could do let maybe temp Monday equals 5. Let temp Tuesday, can't type and talk, Tuesday equals 4, right? And you could just go along for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you could have all of the different days of the week and they'd each have their own value. Now that could work, but there is a quicker, kind of more efficient way of doing that. So that's with arrays. So an array is going to let you store a whole bunch of different things and just access them really quickly. So how we're going to do that is we're actually going to use the const keyword, and then we're going to use, let's call this temps. Again, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to set it equal to square brackets. So with arrays, we're going to see these square brackets a lot. For now, this is what's going to hold all of the different values, and let's figure out what we're going to put in there. So maybe I'm going to do, let's just do some numbers to start. So let's say 2, 4, -10, maybe 21. So typical Canadian week, right? Just got all kinds of different temperatures all over the place there, but they're all in the same line in a same variable. And it's using the keyword const. So even though the temps is going to be consistent, we can actually add and remove values, and that's going to be fine, even though it's called const. So we've got our array. We can use numbers. We can also use strings. So let's say we want to do const days of the week equals, then same syntax, right? We're going to have square brackets. Since we're dealing with strings, we're going to need quotes. So maybe Monday, comma, Tuesday. And you can keep going, just use another comma and put the next value. So let's just do one more. There, so we got Wednesday. So here are two arrays. We have numbers in this one, we have strings in that one, and let's just keep going. So what you can do is instead of having to just call a single variable, now we're actually going to say what variable we want or what value we want inside of this list. So let's say I want to talk about Monday. I can't just print out days of the week because that is going to give me every single day. So if I was to print that out, I get Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So let's say I just want Monday. How I'm going to do that is, again, we're going to see these square brackets. Actually, I'm going to take it out of the console log for a second so you can see it a bit better. So we're going to take it out of there. I'm going to have square brackets, semicolon, and inside the square brackets this time is actually going to be the index. So in this case, for Monday, it's 0. So what that's going to look like, I'm just going to leave a comment here so you can kind of picture it. So underneath Monday, let's say that's 0. Now we got Tuesday is going to be 1. Wednesday is going to be 2. So in coding, when we're dealing with lists, the first thing in a list is always going to be the index 0. So even though it's the first thing, we're starting at 0. So we're counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So if we want the very first thing, we actually have to say day of the week, 0. Now that is the exact same thing right now. That's the same as writing Monday, right? There's no difference between those two. Monday is the exact same thing as writing this. So it's basically swapping out this value here for this whole line of code right there. So let's actually print that out. So we are going to print out Monday. Right, so it's not going to console log day of the week bracket 0 bracket, right? It's going to say console.log, what do we have here? Monday, so we're going to print that out, which is what we have down here. So if we want to do Tuesday or Wednesday, obviously we just do 1 or 2. So 2 is going to give us Wednesday in the same kind of manner. There we go. Okay, so we printed out the whole list. We printed out an individual one, and that's good to go. So now what we are going to do is we are actually going to check the length of this array. So let's see how many things are inside of it. So for that, we just want day of the week dot length. Now that is going to change based on your list, right? So let's say we want to see how many things are in temp. I'm just going to write temps.length. So you can do this for a lot of different stuff. You're always going to call the name of the array. Then you have these kind of preset functions that you can use that are going to give you back values or do things. So right now we're just asking what the length is. So we can say dot length after an array, and it's going to give us the length. So again, this is the same as writing how many things are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So since there are 4 things in temps, down here, temp.length is the same as writing the number 4. Day of the week.length is the same as writing 1, 2, 3, 3. Like that. But this way, if we add something on here, that's going to update automatically. And the length is always going to be the most current version of the list. So let's say we just want to print out the days of the week, dot length. We can just put that right in the console log. And we can say play. And it's going to give us 3. So there are 3 days of the week. So when we're talking about length, we're not dealing with indexes here, even though the index is 0, 1, 2. Those are just for accessing things inside. Whenever we're talking about length, we're now counting from 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's start adding and removing things from the list. So we'll do a really simple method first. Again, we're going to type out days of the week, so we're using the name of the array, and then we're going to use that dot. And you can actually just take a look at what is available to you down here. We've got a couple things. We've got push, we're going to use that one. We've got splice down here, we're going to use that one. And yeah, just a whole bunch of different stuff. So let's do push. So push is just another way for saying add. So what this is going to do is it's going to add whatever you want to the end of the list. So right here. So let's say I want to push the day Thursday. That is going to add Thursday onto the list, just like so. So let's try printing it out up here, days of the week. So we're going to print out the whole list. We're going to add the word Thursday, and then we're actually just going to print it out again to see if it's actually added. Okay. So I'm actually going to clear that, and I'll hit play again. So you can see the first time around we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is what we initialized it to. And then we added Thursday. And then the second time we printed it out, it's going to have Thursday included in the list. So now we could talk about days of the week. Let's say we wanted to print out Thursday. We could see days of the week 3. Right, so we could do that. We could say print out days of the week 3. But let's say we tried it up here. Right, so let's say we tried printing out at index 3, which is going to be over here. The problem we're going to run into is that there's not actually anything at index 3, not yet anyways. So up here there's nothing at 3. Once we add it, then there is. So let's see what it gives us there. So the first time around we have undefined, which means there's not actually anything at index 3, so the computer can't give you back a value. But the second time we've actually added something there, so when we go to print it the next time, it's going to say Thursday is at index 3. So you want to make sure that you're not trying to access an index that doesn't have anything inside of it. Now, we've done add. How would we remove something? So let's get rid of all that. Let's just print out days of the week, and instead of push, here we are going to pop. So we're going to remove the last thing from the list. That's what the pop function is going to do. So push put it at the end, and pop is going to remove it. Okay, so let's say I want to remove one thing at the end there. I'm just going to call pop, and it should get rid of Wednesday. So what we should have here is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on line 8. We're going to get rid of that. And then on line 12, we're going to have Monday, Tuesday. If everything worked okay. And yep, there it went fine. So that's how to just add and remove something in a nice simple way. But let's say we want to actually add and remove at specific points. So let's say we wanted to get rid of Tuesday and add something different. So how we would do that is we would write, actually I'm going to leave that there. So we're going to do days of the week dot splice, and now it's asking for 3 things this time. So I'm just going to give a comment here, and I'm going to show you visually what it's asking for. So the first thing, it's asking what index are we talking about? So where are we adding, removing? Are we adding and removing at 0? Are we doing it at 1? Are we doing it at 2? Or even do we want to add something at 3? So that's the first one. So let's say we're talking about Tuesday. So we're going to use the number 1 and comma. So the next thing it's going to ask is how many things do we want to remove? So let's say number remove. So we're currently at Tuesday. If we say 0, it's not going to remove Tuesday. If we say 1, it's going to get rid of Tuesday. If we say we want to remove 2 things, it's going to get rid of Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's going to do this one and then whatever the next one is. So let's say we want to remove 2 things, whoop, not 3. So we're getting rid of Tuesday, and then it's also going to get rid of Wednesday. And the third thing is it's asking what should we add. Actually, let's do things to add. So you can add multiple things as well. So let's say we want to put in the word Friday and maybe Saturday. Right, so we could just do one thing if we wanted, like that, or we could just keep going along and add as many things as we want. So just to go over that, so at index 1, sorry. So at index 1, which is Tuesday, we want to remove 2 things. So we're going to remove Tuesday and Wednesday, and we want to add this list of things, which is going to be Friday and Saturday. So the final list we should get would be Monday, Friday, Saturday, which doesn't make sense, but that's what we've done. Okay, so the first time we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and once we've done our splice function, we now have Monday, Friday, Saturday. So that's kind of the basics of an array, just a way to declare a list of things. You can add to it, you can remove from it, and if you want to reference any one thing inside the array, you can just call the list or the array with its index. So let's say we're talking about Tuesday, we could do 1, and that will be the same right here as writing out the word Tuesday. So very handy, especially when you have a really, really long list. You can kind of go through it, you can find something, and then just call that out there, rather than having to write out a whole bunch of different variables, which would take up a lot of space and just not be very neat. So that's arrays, so just play around with it a bit, especially the splice function, just try different stuff. Like let's say you didn't have that, it would remove 2 things, but it wouldn't add anything, right? So if we go down here, the first time it's Tuesday, whoops, let's put that back. First time it's going to give Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we've just said at index 1, remove 2 things. So again, we're getting rid of these, but we didn't actually add anything, so we're just going to have Monday. I could go over to Wednesday, so let's say index 2, and let's say I want to remove 1 thing. That's going to get rid of Wednesday. And let's say I wanted to add something on, I could say Saturday, and that's just going to tack Saturday on in place of Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, Saturday. Right, so just play around with it, see what you can do, and I'll see you in the next video.